this is so cheesy and delicious. If you love cute food adventures, subscribe now. More tasty treats are coming.
When the rescue shuttle Marigold answered a drifting distress signal beyond Jupiter's orbit, no one on board expected to find children. Captain Elena Marquez expected wreckage. Maybe a derelict probe? Maybe pirates? Instead, tucked inside a cracked silver pod no larger than a city bus, they found 6 small alien cubs. They were the size of human toddlers, covered in soft teal fur with wide amber eyes and rounded ears that twitched at every sound. Their limbs were short and sturdy, their paws tipped with delicate claws clearly meant for climbing rather than fighting. And they were terrified. The moment the airlock opened, the cubs huddled together, tiny bodies shaking. They made soft chirping sounds that rose and fell like nervous birdsong. Dr. Arun Patel slowly knelt down, hands open. "It's okay," he whispered, though he knew they didn't understand the words. "We're not going to hurt you." One cub peeked up. It had a darker patch of fur around its left eye, like a smudge of charcoal. It stared at him, ears twitching rapidly. Elena softened her voice. "Bring blankets. Warm ones." The cubs were carefully carried onto the Marigold. Medical scans showed they were malnourished, but otherwise healthy. Their pod had suffered a navigation failure and drifted for weeks. The rest of their species was nowhere to be found in nearby space. For now, the cubs had only the humans. The first challenge was food. They rejected protein paste. They ignored nutrient cubes. They sniffed at fruit and vegetables with clear suspicion. One brave cub even tapped a spoon of oatmeal, then sneezed dramatically and scampered away. "They're omnivores," Arun muttered, studying the scan results. "But clearly picky omnivores." Engineer Malik Thompson leaned against the galley counter. "Maybe they just need something that smells better." That evening, Malik decided to cook something from home. It was his turn in the rotating kitchen schedule, and after a long repair shift, he wanted comfort food. He pulled tortillas from storage, shredded cheese, diced peppers and onions, and grilled strips of chicken. The sizzling filled the small galley with warm, savory aroma. He folded the tortillas carefully, pressing them against the hot surface until the cheese melted into golden perfection. The smell drifted down the corridor. In the medical bay, 6 small noses lifted simultaneously. The cub with the charcoal patch let out a curious trill. Slowly, cautiously, they padded toward the scent. Malik was flipping the first quesadilla when he sensed he wasn't alone. He turned. 6 pairs of glowing amber eyes stared up at him from the doorway. He blinked. "Ah, hey there, little guys." One cub stepped forward, sniffing intensely. Its ears were angled forward now, not back. Curious, not afraid. Malik crouched down and tore off a tiny corner of tortilla, making sure it wasn't too hot. He held it out. The cub sniffed it carefully. Then it took the piece gently between its small teeth. There was a pause. Then its eyes widened. It made a delighted chirrup that echoed through the corridor. Chaos followed. The other cubs rushed forward, chirping excitedly. Tails flicked, paws bounced. Malik laughed as he tried to break off small, safe pieces for each of them. Within minutes, the galley floor was full of happy teal fluff chewing enthusiastically. "They like it?" Elena asked from behind him. Malik grinned. "Captain, I think we've just discovered interstellar diplomacy through melted cheese." From that day on, quesadillas became a staple aboard the Marigold. The cubs learned the routine quickly. Whenever Malik or anyone else heated tortillas on the grill, the cubs would appear as if summoned by magic. They would sit in a neat little row, tails curled around their paws, eyes fixed on the stove. Arun started documenting their behavior. "Notice the vocal patterns," he said one evening. "They produce short rhythmic chirps before feeding. Possibly a social bonding signal. Or they're saying hurry up," Malik replied, flipping another quesadilla. The cub with the charcoal patch became the boldest of the group. It often approached first, gently patting Malik's knee with one paw. The crew nicknamed it Smudge. Smudge developed a particular love for the crispy edges. It would carefully nibble around the outside first, before devouring the melted center, eyes half closed in bliss. Over weeks, the cubs grew stronger. Their fur became glossy. They explored more of the ship, always in a group, always returning to the galley at mealtimes. The crew began adding variations: spinach and mushroom, beef and mild spices. Even sweet dessert quesadillas with fruit and soft cream cheese. The cubs approved of nearly all of them. Nearly. The day Malik experimented with extra hot Galapagos was unforgettable. Smudge took the first bite. There was a pause. Then its ears shot straight up. It froze, eyes wide. A tiny wheezing sound escaped its throat. "Oh no," Malik whispered. Smudge bolted in frantic circles, chirping at an alarming pitch. The other cubs backed away in horror. Arun quickly offered water while Elena struggled not to laugh. "Congratulations," she said between chuckles. "You've just started the first interspecies spice war." Malik felt terrible for exactly 3 minutes until Smudge cautiously returned, sniffed a plain cheese quesadilla, and resumed eating as if nothing had happened. Lesson learned. Months passed. Long-range scans finally detected a faint signal matching the Cubs' pod origin. A damaged but functioning alien vessel drifted near Saturn's rings. The Cub species had been searching. The reunion was arranged carefully. The Marigold approached slowly, broadcasting peaceful intent. When the alien ship's hangar opened, taller beings emerged sleek, furred like the Cubs but standing upright, their eyes filled with unmistakable relief. The Cubs sensed them instantly. They chirped wildly and ran forward. What followed was a cascade of joyful sounds and embraces. The adult aliens gathered the Cubs close, touching foreheads in a gesture the humans had never seen before. Elena felt her throat tighten. "Guess this is goodbye?" Before departure, the alien captain approached the humans. A translation algorithm struggled but managed simple phrases. "Gratitude," the device conveyed. "Younglings survived. Strong. Happy." Malik swallowed. "We'll miss them." Smudge broke from the group and ran back toward the Marigold. It climbed onto Malik's boot one last time, patting his leg insistently. Malik laughed softly. "You want one more?" He hurried to the galley and returned with a freshly made quesadilla, cut into safe pieces. Smudge chirped triumphantly. Soon all 6 cubs gathered again, sharing the familiar treat one final time beneath Saturn's golden glow. The adult aliens watched curiously as their young devoured melted cheese and toasted tortillas with pure joy. The translation device flickered again. "Food name?" Malik straightened proudly. "Quesadilla." The alien captain repeated it slowly. Quesadilla. Smudge gave a happy chirp of agreement. When the alien vessel finally departed, it carried not only rescued cubs, but a new cultural treasure. Weeks later, a transmission reached Earth. It contained a simple image, a group of small teal cubs sitting in a neat row, holding something folded and golden in their paws. Below the image, translated into careful English, were 3 words: "More quesadilla, please." And somewhere beyond Saturn, 6 alien cubs would forever remember that in the vast cold darkness of space, humanity had given them warmth, safety, and their favorite food. Have you ever looked up at the stars and wondered if anyone was looking back? Well, it turns out someone was. And they were hungry. This is the story of how a simple, cheesy quesadilla didn't just satisfy a craving, but accidentally saved the world. It all started on a Tuesday. I was in my kitchen, minding my own business, making my legendary 3-cheese quesadilla. It's a family secret, okay? A perfect blend of cheddar, Monterey Jack, and a little sprinkle of cotija for that salty kick. The tortilla was sizzling on the pan. The cheese was melting into that perfect gooey river of deliciousness. Just as I was about to fold it, my whole apartment started to shake. The lights flickered. My cat hissed and dove under the couch, and a brilliant, blinding blue light filled the room. I stood there, spatula in hand, frozen. The light slowly dimmed, and standing right in the middle of my living room was... well, I'm not sure what it was. It was tall, about 7 feet, with skin that shimmered like oil on water, and large, curious silver eyes. It had 4 long, slender arms, and wore something that looked like a suit made of woven light. My first thought wasn't alien invasion. It was, I hope they don't mess up my rug. The being just stood there, its huge eyes fixed on one thing, the quesadilla still sizzling on my stove. It tilted its head, a gesture that somehow seemed universally curious. It then made a series of clicking and whistling sounds. I didn't speak alien, but I know the international language of "that smells amazing." Slowly, very slowly, I lifted the spatula, folded the quesadilla, and slid it onto a plate. My heart was pounding like a drum solo. Was I about to be disintegrated? Probed? Asked for my Wi-Fi password? I held out the plate, an offering, a peace treaty made of cheese and carbs. One of its four hands reached out, plucked the quesadilla from the plate with surprising delicacy, and brought it up to where a mouth should be. A small slit opened, and it took a bite. The being went completely still. Its silvery eyes widened even further, if that was possible. It let out a long, melodious hum that vibrated through my entire body. It was a sound of pure, unadulterated joy. It then devoured the rest of the quesadilla in 2 more bites. After it finished, it looked at me, then back at the empty plate. It made more clicking noises, this time pointing a long finger at the stove, then at the bag of tortillas, then at the block of cheese. The message was clear, more, so I did what any good host would do. I made another one, and another. We spent the next hour in a strange, silent culinary exchange. I'd cook, it would eat and hum. I learned its name was Xyler, and it was a scout from a federation of planets we couldn't even imagine. They'd been observing Earth for decades, trying to decide if we were a threat. Their sensors had picked up on our global conflicts, our environmental issues, our reality TV shows. Things weren't looking good for us. Xyler was on the final observation mission. Its report would determine humanity's fate. They were prepared to quarantine our entire solar system, effectively cutting us off from the rest of the universe forever. A cosmic timeout. But then, it detected a unique energy signature. A powerful, concentrated burst of what their sensors labeled pure contentment. It was so off the charts, so different from all the other data that Xyler had to investigate personally. That energy signature? Yeah, it was me in my happy place making my perfect quesadilla. Through a translation device that finally started working, it needed to taste the local atmosphere. Apparently, Xyler explained everything. It told me that its species had evolved beyond the need for complex food. They survived on tasteless nutrient paste. They had forgotten the simple pleasure of a good meal. The combination of the crispy tortilla, the savory melted cheese, and the warmth of a home-cooked dish was a concept so foreign, so powerful, it completely recontextualized their understanding of humanity. They saw us as chaotic and destructive, but they'd missed this. They'd missed the art, the care, the love that goes into creating something just because it brings joy. The quesadilla wasn't just food. It was a testament to our capacity for simple, beautiful creation. Xyler's report back to the Federation was, to put it mildly, a game changer. It didn't just include data on our weapons or politics. It included the recipe for a 3-cheese quesadilla. It described, in great detail, the symphony of textures and the cascade of savory flavors. The Federation Council was baffled, then intrigued. They postponed the quarantine. Instead, they opened a single, tentative channel of communication, all based on the goodwill generated by a single snack. The first official message from humanity to the stars wasn't a complex mathematical equation or a speech from a world leader. It was a video of me in my kitchen, showing them how to properly flip a tortilla without losing any cheese. Things got weird after that. Quesadilla diplomacy became a real term. I was suddenly an ambassador. I wasn't negotiating treaties. I was sharing recipes. We sent them instructions for pizza, for ramen, for chocolate chip cookies. In return, they shared technology for clean energy and advanced medicine. It turned out the fastest way to interstellar peace was through the stomach. It's been a few years now. Earth is part of the Galactic Federation. Our little blue dot is famous not for war, but for being